Welcome into this video, guys. I'm in Gold's Gym here in Tampa, Florida, and today I'm going to take you through a full body efficient workout using my optimized fitness app. I'm going to show you how I train a little bit differently using something that I call the grip method, and you're going to want to stick around for this whole video. I'm going to show you all the secret sauce on how to get into a sustainable routine to build muscle, just going to help you get lean so you can just feel like the best version of yourself. Feel confident taking your shirt off so you can go run on Bayshore and just feel like a beast. And just so you know, I've been working as a fitness coach for over 5 years. I've worked with over 200 guys, invested over $50,000 studying the science behind muscle growth and studying my own personal development. So everything I share with you guys is going to be, from a place of experience. And yeah, follow me, go to the first exercise. So first exercise, guys, we're going to start on the cable lat pull down. You'll notice on the Optimized Fitness app, this is pretty much my own app that I use to help my clients get into a very sustainable routine. Pretty much all you'll notice is it's super simple. You come into the gym, you click start workout, and you're going to literally have a video of me right there teaching the exercise. So right now here on YouTube, I'll be able to be right here teaching it. But if you were actually doing this on your own, you'd have a video of me teaching it. And all you pretty much are going to do is track your weight, track how many reps you do. And this is going to be how we can actually make it structured and get into a sustainable routine. So you'll notice how I train is a little bit differently from most programs. Like a lot of traditional programs that you've probably tried before in the past, it's kind of like you just blast one muscle group at a time. So I call these like the bro split, right? Where you just do like chest and tricep, back and bicep. And by the time you leave the gym, like whatever muscle you're training, it's kind of like aching and pain. You wake up the next day, you're super sore. So I used to train that way, doing 3-4 sets on every exercise, maybe 5-6 total exercises on one muscle. And it ended up just being not sustainable for me. I got to a place where I got a really bad shoulder injury back in 2023 that knocked me out of the gym for a few months. And during that time, that's when I hired my first mentor. His name was Chris Beardsley. This guy is like an absolute master of his craft, understands the science behind muscle growth at a level of detail that is just absolutely insane. So I hired this guy. First, it was extremely confusing, but I just committed myself to learning like the best, most efficient way to build muscle. And that's what led me to creating the grip method. So the grip method is all about understanding this important idea that is really just the last 5 reps before failure that are the most important for building muscle, right? So instead of just spamming one muscle group at a time, doing tons of reps, tons of sets, just chasing the burn, chasing the pain, we're not going to do that, right? I don't prescribe to the no pain, no gain mentality. I'm all about efficiency and effectiveness because the guys that I work with, they tend to value sustainability. They tend to value effectiveness. They want something that's going to fit into the routine, not just for the next 3 months, but for the next 3 decades. And the grip method is that thing, right? So what you're going to notice that's a lot different is instead of doing 3 to 4 sets on every exercise, we're normally only going to do 2 sets. Instead of training to 10, 12, 15 reps, all we're going to do is pick a weight that's going to get us near failure close to 5 reps, right? So what I learned from Chris Beardsley, this guy that I worked with, is that it's really just the last 5 reps before failure that are the most important for building muscle, right? So I kind of say like if building muscle was like cutting through a steak, what we're going to do is we're going to use like a steak knife. We're going to be very effective with each thing that we do. Take a long rest between sets and take another effective cut rather than just use a butter knife, do a bunch of stuff, go really fast, right? And not take a lot of rest. So it's kind of about not just about doing more, it's about learning how to get more from each thing that you do. So what this is going to look like practically when you come in here in the gym and you click start workout, you're going to pick a weight that's going to get you right near failure, ideally at like 5 or 6 reps, because we want to get to those gritty reps earlier rather than later, right? So if you want to do a quick warm up just to kind of lubricate your joints, you always have the option to do that. So this is what a quick warm up would look like. Just something simple, right? Once I feel like, okay, my muscles are nice and lubricated, everything feels comfy, now I'm going to go for the gritty zone, right? I'm going to pick a weight that's going to get me right near that failure. So for me, I always track my weights, and that's why it's super important that you guys are not just coming in here freestyling, winging it, thinking that you remember your weights, but you're honestly forgetting, right? You want to have a way that you can track your weights, right? So this is like, you'll notice on the app, if I click this button right here, it's going to show me the data of all the weights that I did last time, right? So I know last time I did this exercise, I got 185 pounds for 5 reps, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be like, okay, let me pick the 185. Let me see if I can get 6 or 7 reps. This is how you can be very intentional with your lifting, right? If you're not getting stronger every single session or every single week, you could literally be coming in here just wasting your time, right? When it comes to getting your dream body so that you can, feel confident taking your shirt off on Bayshore and just feel confident outside, enjoying, the Tampa scenery, it's gonna be very important that you're actually building muscle intentionally and not just doing fluff, not coming in here wasting your time, right? So with that in mind, let's go for 185 and let's see if I can get at least 6 or 7 reps. Wow. That moves like butter. That's how you know you're getting stronger, right? If the weight is feeling like, man, like that wasn't super heavy, that's how you know you're building muscle. The number one indicator of muscle growth is strength gains, right? If the same weight is feeling just as challenging today as it felt a month ago, something is wrong. You should be able to get adapted to the same weights to the point where they start feeling lighter over time. That's a good sign, right? And I know what you're thinking, Jacob, like, I don't want to be a bodybuilder. I don't care about training super heavy, ego lifting. Well, you need to understand, I know exactly what your goals are because I talk to you guys every single day. You want to be leaner. You want to, lose that stubborn midsection fat. You want to feel athletic. You want to feel energized. You just want to be able to look in the mirror and feel proud of your reflection, feel like you're living into the best version of yourself. When it comes to that, even if your goal is to get leaner, you need to understand how to build muscle. Building muscle is like the investment account of losing fat, right? The more muscle you have, it kind of works for you like compound interest to help you get leaner over time, which because it helps boost your metabolism, right? So if you're just trying to get leaner by doing a bunch of cardio, being restrictive, that's like a short-term strategy. Every guy I've met that just tried doing extreme calorie deficit and doing a bunch of cardio, they tend to, even if they do get a little bit leaner, they tend to bounce right back, right? For you, I'm not gonna lead you astray. I don't want to see you just make a little bit of short-term progress. I want to see you authentically, sustainably, organically become the best, most fit version of yourself in a way that's gonna stick, not just for a few months, but like I said, a few years, a few decades, because I see that for you. I want you to always reap the rewards of just learning to love the process, love the journey. And when it comes to that, you need to have a sustainable way to do some muscle development in your routine, right? It's not just about going hard on cardio and being restrictive, because you've probably tried that, and what happens? You bounce right back because it's not sustainable, right? But going to the gym, doing some effective muscle growth, it's fun, especially with the grip method, right? Having a way to track your weights like this, right? So I'm gonna track that. That was 185 for 7. Boom, check that off, boom, right? I'm gonna add one more set like that. I'll rest a little bit. But having a way to do this, all it's gonna take is like 45 minutes. It's super efficient, it's pretty fast, slot into your routine, super sustainably. Like I work with pretty much busy guys like Delton, he's a lawyer right here in Tampa. He doesn't have time to, be training in the gym 6 days a week, doing 2-hour sessions, right? We do a few gritty workouts a week, and he's down from 218 pounds when we started, now he's 193. All he's been doing is sustainable gritty reps. He does some tennis on his off days, and we actually track his nutrition, make sure he's eating the right foods in the right amount, eating clean, treating his body with respect, right? One of my newest clients, his name is David. He has his own gutter company. He lives in Brandon, and same thing that we do. He's just doing 3 gritty workouts a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're gonna do some sustainable cardio on his off days, doing some jogs, and then actually make sure that he's eating the right foods in the right amount so he can get leaner, feel like the best version of himself, right? So when it comes to, doing this the right way, it's not just about doing more, it's about being intentional, having a way that's gonna set you up for sustainable success. Let's go for one more gritty set. Let's get it, boys. Holy smoke. All right, I'm gonna bump up the weight because that was feeling pretty light. One thing that you can do is also use weightlifting straps. So one thing you'll notice, like when you start getting, there you go. When you start going for the gritty reps on pulls, at some point your hands start to fatigue before your back. That's a big red flag, right? You always want the muscle that you're trying to train to be the thing that hits failure first, right? So because of that, I'm gonna use these weightlifting straps. What this is gonna help me do is just make sure that my hands aren't a limiting factor. Make sure my back hits failure before my hands. All right, so I'll show you guys how to use this. All you're gonna do, you're gonna make a V, right? The strap, you need to make sure it's lined up so that the strap goes right in between your index finger and your thumb, right? And then you make a V, and then whatever attachment you're using, you put the attachment right in the middle of the V, and then you wrap it from your pinky to your thumb as tight as you can. If this is loose, it pretty much defeats the point. So you gotta make sure it's tight, right? It takes a little bit of practice to do this by yourself, but every guy that I work with, I always come travel to their gym to make sure that they understand how to use weightlifting straps, make sure they understand how to have perfect form, make sure they know how to train optimally. Because once we do that one time, then it's like, okay, cool, I can transfer that knowledge to you, so you got it, and then you can do it on your own. You don't need me there for every single workout. You don't want to become dependent or reliant on an in-person trainer, but it is helpful to have a professional come actually teach you the right things, evaluate, some of your shortcomings and help you fix them before you're setting up to do your routine on your own. That way you don't have any gaps. You can make sure you're doing everything properly. So that's why I help only guys local here in Tampa, and it's more of a hybrid approach where I go to them to start off the program, make sure that they understand everything that they need to know, but I'm not gonna baby them. I'm not gonna have them become dependent on me. I'm gonna empower them to be sustainable, to get into a good routine on their own. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. And that's why I help guys local here in Tampa more as a hybrid coach rather than just an in-person trainer or just an online coach. I find this works a lot better. And if you're interested in something like that, go ahead, shoot me a message. I'd love to have a conversation, hear a little bit more about your situation, see how I might be able to help you out specifically. All right, let's get gritty. Wow. I must be getting stronger, Jack. That felt great. Feels so good with the weightlifting straps because it's so comfortable. So like I said at the start of the video, one of the biggest differences with the grip method is I'd rather do 2 really good sets than 3 or 4 mid set, right? So we're gonna do 2 sets, but they were both heavy, all the way near failure, right around 5, 6, or 7. That way we can just optimize for those last 5 before failure, the gritty reps, which are the most important reps for building muscle. So we just did 2 sets on there. That's all we're gonna do for back today. Now let's go to the next exercise. Let's get it, boys. Great start to the workout, boys. So like I was explaining, we're not gonna do a full back day. We're not gonna do 4, 5, 6, 7 exercises just on the back. I'd rather do 2 really good high quality sets on the back, but the caveat is we're gonna do that multiple times spaced out throughout the week, right? So I kind of think of it like this. Imagine like a pencil. When you start using it, it's very effective. The more you use a pencil, it starts to get dull till eventually it's just like a nub. It's completely ineffective. Same thing with training any muscle in a workout. The more sets that you do on that muscle, the more usage you put on that muscle, the more ineffective it becomes. So if I'm doing 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 exercises all on one muscle in a workout, by the time I get towards the end, it's like writing with a pencil that's a nub. It's completely pointless. It's useless. It's junk volume, right? So I'd rather stay on the really effective sharp pencil sets, do a couple of those, but the caveat is we'll do that multiple times spaced out throughout the week. So I might train again in a couple of days. I'll do the back again, right? So that's kind of a really important paradigm shift to understand is you don't need to spam a muscle. It doesn't need to be aching in pain, super sore, super pumped to actually build muscle effectively. It's a lot more sustainable to do like the really high quality couple sets, but then do that multiple times spaced out throughout the week. So with that in mind, that's why we do full body, right? So we already did the lat pull down. Now we're gonna go for hammer curls, biceps. I love training biceps. This is one of my favorite exercises. So let's get it, boys. Same exact ideas are gonna apply. Take a heavy weight. It's gonna get me near failure right around 5. Gritty reps. Gritty. 6. All right. It's getting sunny out. You know what that means, boys. Shirt's coming off. All right. Let's go. It's funny because like for me, when it comes to taking my shirt off, it literally has nothing to do with like wanting to show off or like how anybody thinks about me. It's just for how I think about myself. Like that's the cool thing about building muscle is you build a self-confidence that is completely independent of anybody else's opinion of you. So I can feel confident to take my shirt off, not because I really care about showing off to anybody, but just because I know I've been doing the work. I've been showing up consistently. I've been making myself proud. And your muscles are like quantitative proof on your body that are proof of your integrity, proof of how you've been living, proof of your character. So it's a great feeling, you know, being able to take your shirt off confidently outside, not because you need to show off, not because it's vain, but just because of your own reputation with yourself, your own self-image. And it's a great feeling. And that for me is like why I'm a huge advocate of working out, not because you need, you know, this social charm, not because you need this, you know, sense of bravado, but it's more because I want to help you improve your own reputation with yourself so that when you look in the mirror, you feel proud of you and you learn to love you. And I think the gym can be a great vehicle to help you develop that self-esteem and stack evidence for the type of man that you want to be. And for me, that's what makes working out so powerful. So guys, it's been enough rest. Let me track this one. We're gonna go for one more gritty set on here. Let's get it. So that was 55 for 5 reps. Remember, I always rest about 1.5 minutes. That way it's like a steak knife. We sharpen the knife, and then we're gonna go for one more effective set. Let's get it. Nice, right near failure. Hell yeah. We're already got probably like 40% of the workout done just with 4 super good high quality sets. So I'm gonna rest a little bit and then we'll go to the next exercise. Let's get it, guys. All right, guys, we went for some back to start, then we got some biceps. Now we're gonna go for some shoulders. I have us on the seated dumbbell overhead press. So same thing as usual, 2 sets. We're gonna go right near failure for each one. I'm gonna try to get near failure around 5. I don't mind if it's like 6 or 7, as long as I know like I don't wanna do too many, because it's only the last 5 before failure that do anything for muscle growth. So we can go for those gritty reps, hence the grit method, hence efficiency, effectiveness, the best way to train if your goal is just effective, sustainable muscle growth. I digress. Let's get gritty, boys. All right, let's go. Wow. Definitely getting stronger. That's a good sign. But a couple of things, guys. Normally, I prefer stable exercises like machines. It's like if we were working together, I probably wouldn't program this exercise for you. I'd rather you doing the exact same movement, but just inside on a machine. Reason is, the more stable the exercise, the less risk of injury. And you can also go a little bit heavier and get the gritty reps easier because one less thing to think about, right? If I have to think about stabilizing the exercise, that is just taking away from mental effort that I could be spending towards actually training the muscle. So the easier, the more simple the exercise, the better, because that just means I can spend all my mental power on just going as hard as I can, just training the muscle, right? But the reason is we're outside, it's a nice day out and it feels pretty great. So I like to sprinkle this one in here and there for fun. Even if it's not 100% optimized, that's okay. It's still really good because it's fun. But in general, I prefer machines over free weights because the more simple, the more comfortable, the easier it is to get gritty. So that's why I always have a saying with the guys I work with. I say, comfy first, gritty second. You want to have the exercise feel super easy, super comfortable. That way you can go heavier, safer. And for 99% of the guys I work with, their goal is not to be an Olympic athlete. You probably don't care about, being extremely like a powerful, coordinated athlete. Your goal is like, hey, Jacob, I just want to be healthy. I want to live that healthy lifestyle. I want to just feel confident taking my shirt off in public. I want to be at the beach and just, have my partner look at me and like really be attracted to me. I want to lead by example for my kids. I just want to be able to look in the mirror and just feel proud of my physique and feel proud that I've been showing up for myself. If that's your goal, you don't need to be coming in here training like you're a bodybuilder. You don't need to be training like you're an Olympic athlete. You don't need to be doing deadlifts and crazy stuff. You just need to do simple things that actually help you like do the important gritty reps so that you can develop muscle, because the more muscle you have, it's going to help you lose body fat. And it's just a good, sustainable, healthy habit to incorporate into your routine. Does that make sense, guys? So I have this saying as well. I say simple scales, fancy fails. Simple is easy to stick to. Fancy is like you start and you stop, right? So working with me, it's not like this groundbreaking, revolutionary like thing. It's like, hey, we're going to focus on the fundamentals. We're going to focus on the things that actually move the needle forward for you, right? You already have your mind probably on other things in your life. You probably have relationships you're trying to manage, a career you're trying to manage. You don't need another super complicated thing. You just need somebody to like step into your life, be that teammate for you, keep you accountable, actually build a simple, sustainable plan for you, give you some structure, and actually just help you stay consistent, right? So that's what I am. That's what I do. Is I'm not like coming into your life to be another burden, to be another thing on your plate. My whole goal is to come into your life and relieve some of that burden, make it easier for yourself, right? So if that's something that you'd like to implement together, go ahead, send me a message. I'd love to have a conversation with you so I can hear a bit more about your situation specifically, hear a bit more about your goals, and that way we can come up with a game plan together and see if I can help. So if that sounds like you actually want a teammate to come into your life, help you become that best version of yourself, help you set simple habits so that you can just take your shirt off at the gym, feel super confident, you just live that healthy Tampa lifestyle, walk on Bayshore and Riverwalk and feel like that best, most fit version of yourself. I love to help you do that. So literally like why I'm here on this earth is to help guys like you become that best version of themselves, earn self-confidence. So if that sounds like you, like I said, send me a message. Love to hear a bit more about your situation specifically and see if I can help you out. But that's enough procrastinating. Let's get one more gritty set on here, guys. Let's get it. All right. That's failure. And I know what you might be thinking. You might think, Jake, I'm kind of scared to go heavy because I don't want to hurt myself. And like what you're doing, like that's cool. Like you look, you know, like obviously you're experienced, you know what you're doing. Maybe you can do that, but I don't know if I can do that. And I'll share this with you guys. I've been coaching for, like I said, over 5 years. I've worked with well over 200 guys, and I've trained young guys. I've trained old guys. I trained a guy named Jerry that was in his 60s. He could do the gritty reps. Even back in my in-person training days, when I started just at a crunch, I was training like 7 hours a day, 5-6 days a week. I was training some girls. They could do gritty reps. Anybody can do the gritty rep, right? I promise. It looks a lot harder than it is, because when you get on a simple, stable exercise, it's very hard to have bad form. So maybe you've had a bad experience where you came in the gym, maybe you were even working with a trainer, and maybe it had you on like an online program, or you're trying some type of app, and you're like, oh, like I feel some pain, like this exercise doesn't feel right. Working with me, you'll never have that experience, because everything I program is like I make sure it's stuff that you actually feel confident in doing. That way you can be super confident in the gym. Like I want you to feel confident in the gym, like that you don't have to feel like you're looking around feeling insecure. You don't feel like you have to compare yourself to anybody in here. I want to help you understand the knowledge and the principles that are going to give you the confidence to come into the gym and feel like, man, I just feel like the best version of myself. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know I'm executing it properly. I know I'm not doing fluff. I know I'm actually doing the important reps that are going to move the needle for me and help me make progress. That's such an empowering feeling, because then you're not playing defense with your fitness, you're playing offense. You get excited about it, right? I don't want you to just have that defensive mindset, that scarcity mindset, where you think, oh, I'm not a fit person, but I'm like trying to do these things to be somebody that I'm not. I want you to learn to love the process, learn to embrace that fitness lifestyle, learn to help you feel confident in the gym, make the gym like your second home, help you make the gym feel like it's your playground, so you know exactly what you're doing every single time you come in here, help you build some muscle, help you set good habits outside of the gym, like staying active, doing a bit of cardio, eating the right foods, taking care of your body. That way you can get lean, get in the best shape of your life, so you can just feel like the best version of yourself, be confident with your shirt off on the beach, you know, just help magnify your career, your relationships, help you lead from the front for your family, and all that good stuff. It's possible for you, it's inevitable for you, as long as you actually, you know, put your ego aside and give yourself the permission to get some help. And that's exactly what I'm here for. So if I can help you with that, I'd love to have a conversation with you. Reach out to me. We'll hear a bit more about your situation. I'd love to see if I can help you do that. Let's go to the next exercise. All right, guys, I'm here with my guy Spence. So Spence and I, we've been working together for pretty much over a year. This guy is a gritty beast. He just pulled up. We were just kind of finishing our workout, but I figured why not get a set together on lateral raises, and you guys are gonna see how gritty this guy is. Let's get it, Spence. All right, let's get it, bro. Keep going, bro. Yeah, this is baby weight for you, bro. It's accountable freaking James right here, dude. Beast. Run your failure, bro. Gritty. Gritty. Couple more, bro. Gritty. One more, beast. Legend. Let's go. Damn. So that's how you know that Spencer's getting strong, because that weight used to get him near failure, like way closer to 5, but now he pretty much just ekes those out for like well over 10.
I think it was 14, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of insane. So he normally actually is probably going to switch to the 40s for the next set. What do you think about like the grip method, training near failure earlier rather than like the high rep strategy, 10, 12, 15, chase the burn style?
I prefer it. I mean, I think a lot of people say they prefer it just because it's faster.
Yeah.
In and out of the gym a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But for me, especially the way we do it, I feel like my muscles don't get as fatigued.
Yeah.
If we're just doing 6 to 8, like it's heavy, but it's not that much stress on each muscle itself.
Very valid. Bro, tell the camera how much stronger you've got on the leg press, bro.
Since we started?
Yeah.
Maybe up like 275 pounds. That's when we first started.
Bro.
Maybe 300.
Yeah, it's kind of insane. We used to do like 3 plates on each side, and then it's just going like tit for tat, like every single week, getting a little bit stronger. And now he's doing pretty much like 6 plates on each side, I think we did last time. So
yeah, I probably started somewhere around 275, and yeah, last time it was probably like 550-ish,
nice.
maybe.
Let's go, bro. You guys see the muscle on this guy's frame. I think last November you were like 250, right?
Yeah, I think November, December 250, and then last time I weighed in it was like 233 or 235, something like that. Let's go. So it's definitely been working.
Just gonna keep this momentum, bro. Yeah, Spencer is like a perfect example of like, he's pretty busy just with his career in general. Like he's always pretty much much taking calls. He does sales for like real estate and he crushes with that. So pretty much like we try to devise everything around his schedule in a way that can be like a lot more sustainable and efficient for him. And yeah, let's go. Stay tuned for this guy's journey. This guy has that optimizer gene and he gets super gritty. So I always tell him it's just patience and keeping that empowered attitude, keeping focus on your vision of your best self, and just understanding that failure is an illusion. If you have a day or a week where stuff comes up, it doesn't mean you failed. It just means like, hey, that's my opportunity to bounce right back, get back into my routine, and just give it time. Because at that point, if you just are patient enough, like you only actually lose is if you quit. And the end vision, it will come as long as you stay diligent on your habits and you give it time. Freaking Ghost Pants, it's too gritty, bro.
Myself.
Let's get it. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for joining my gritty workout. We went through full body, just like we talked about. Said we did happen to skip legs. That definitely wasn't intentional. Whoop. Just kidding. We'll do legs next time. Psych. Just kidding. All right. So thanks for joining, guys. And like I said, if you want to implement the grip method for yourself, I'm happy to have a conversation with you, hear a bit more about what you're working on. So don't be afraid to reach out and we can work on setting some goals for yourself. I want to hear, you specifically, what's your vision of your best self, and we'll come up with a game plan to get you there. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.